All right, we got explaining every Ryan Day big game choke. We know there's been a lot of them. We're gonna go through this video, see. There's probably some stuff I forgot about, but
A week ago,
y'all let me know. What are your thoughts on Ryan Day? You think he needs to win the Natty to secure his job? You think he's good regardless? What do you want though? Like, if any Ohio State fans stumble on this, y'all want him gone? Y'all think he's the better coach? For you, let me know. Let me know.
I made a video about the notorious big game James
react to this
Franklin,
afterwards.
and you guys loved it, but didn't want it to stop there with requests of a Ryan Day follow-up video, so I got you. This comment just sums it all up.
Ryan Day is the Michael Jordan of James Franklin's. Nah, that's, bro, it's funny. Like, this tweet scheme is always the funniest thing ever. Like, it's kind of like a let's think of one on the fly. Like, Jordan Love is like the Aaron Rodgers of Will Levis's, I would say. I think that's a good one. Y'all let me know yours in the comments. I feel like that's a good one though.
Up. Ryan Day is the Michael
Off the top
Jordan
of the head, too.
of James Franklin's. Today I'll be explaining every top 5 matchup Day's faced since being named the head coach at Ohio State.
I forgot about this one.
The devastating chokes against the team.
Yo, it's funny because Michigan won the game and they won after the game. Yeah, no, they put belt to ass in this post-game scuffle
Up north, and at the end I'll be answering the question, what is wrong? Remember, he's got a $20 million roster. If you love college football, smash the like button and subscribe.
Hey, bro, got some good videos on this channel.
Two easy things to
might
do,
react to
but it
more.
helps the channel tremendously. Thank you guys. A very quick background of Ryan Day for those who don't know. He started his
I don't know if it's just me.
You guys. A very quick
whenever he like does this kind of
Day.
like you know, passionate act, I guess we can call it. It just don't look genuine at all. Like, it don't look like it's him. You feel me?
For those who don't know, he started his college coaching career all the way back in 2002 at the University of New Hampshire, his alma mater, as a tight ends coach. And after that, as you could see from this list, Day was passed around more than your girl at last year's Halloween party. He even spent some time on Chip Kelly's NFL staff in 2015 and 2016 until finally touching down in Columbus as the assistant OC and quarterbacks coach in 2017. After a controversial ending with then Buckeyes head coach Urban Meyer in 2018, which luckily wasn't as bad as the Paterno-Sandusky scandal from the Penn State video, Ryan Day was moved
I feel like nothing could be really worse than that.
Full-time head coach prior to the 2019 season. Now let's get this straight before we get into it and all of you start crying in the comments. Ryan Day should be held to a higher standard than most, if not all, coaches in college football. Ohio State is second in NCAA history in all-time total wins.
Y'all know who's first? Hail to the victors, valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan, the leaders and best.
Third for all-time NFL
Go Blue, baby.
And have had many legendary coaches, including Woody Hayes, Jim Tressel, and of course, Urban Meyer. This is not Bowling Green we're talking about. Keep that in mind during the rest of the video. Ryan Day was taking over a powerhouse program with one of the largest fan bases and most resources available in the sport. Anything short of a national championship is a failure for the Buckeyes faithful. Ryan Day's first
been a lot of fails recently.
Matchup against a top 5 team came in the
Remember this game though?
Fiesta Bowl, which was also a college football playoff semifinal. The Buckeyes entered the game undefeated, 13-0 as Big Ten champions with a low.
I forgot they were up 17-0.
Roster led by Justin Fields on offense and Chase Young on defense.
I forgot they were up 16-0 though. Like, that's one of them. That's bad. That is bad.
Both of these guys finished top 5 in Heisman voting. Clemson still felt like they were in the prime of their 2010s run with Dabo Swinney because they were the defending
college Trevor Lawrence, and definitely different. Definitely special.
Brought in an experienced roster led by a sophomore Trevor Lawrence. Ohio State jumped out to a 16-0 lead in the first half, but missed opportunities proved Ohio State
almost had him brought down. Got to bring him down here. Find a way that we can't overrun the ball. If they get a stop here, even holding to a field goal, or if they go for it and get the stop on 4th down, 16-0, 1.5 is way different than 16-7.
16-0 lead in the first half, but missed opportunities proved costly later on. A controversial targeting call on Shaun Wade.
I remember this
opportunities proved costly later on.
Now, by the letter of the law, this is targeting. They gotta, like, this shouldn't be an ejection. If you want to say, all right, player safety, duck in the head, 15 yards, cool. The ejection's a little bit too much. But I think if we're going to call this targeting on the defense, we have to call it on the offense when they lower their helmet. Like, if y'all watch football, bro, running backs, like 99% of the time when they're going into contact, they duck their head, which then in turn makes it so the defense is hitting, like, you know, the head's in the way, so the defense ends up hitting that. That's not on the defense, right? That's fully, the ownership there should be on the offense. Yeah, they gotta look at these rules though, because the targeting rules right now are ridiculous.
Late in the first half shifted momentum in Clemson's favor, allowing Lawrence to eventually find his rhythm. By the second half, Clemson adjusted on both sides of the ball and executed big plays to get back in the game, and the Tigers went on a brutal 29-7 run to close.
I did not remember it being a 29-7 run. That is, sheesh.
The game.
Bro, it feels like Ohio State just cannot do anything right in the fourth quarter of games.
29-23 loss. But even if the Buckeyes won this game, they were still going to get rolled by that 2019 LSU team, let's be honest. They faced Clemson again.
That's facts. LSU would have belted ass that year for sure.
And in the 2020 college football playoff semifinal.
Yo, 2020, just seeing all the games with no one in the crowd, it's just such like a eerie feeling almost. Like, that's just weird.
And it was a
weird to see. Sucked to play. And absolutely was miserable to play in stadiums with no fans.
This matchup carried more weight than the last one, however, because Ohio State had been heavily criticized for playing a shortened COVID Big Ten schedule. Clemson was a heavy 7-point favorite in this game, and everyone counted the Buckeyes out.
Like
but Ohio State delivered a statement performance, dismantling the Tigers 49-28 in a game that showcased Day's ability to adjust and also inspire.
College definitely was definitely dangerous.
6 touchdowns despite taking a brutal hit to the ribs. Meanwhile, Trey Sermon dominated on the ground, putting up 191 on 31 carries, keeping Clemson's defense off balance the entire time. Ohio State's defensive line dominated, and the secondary capitalized on turnovers. This win was monumental for Ryan Day at the time, silencing haters and earning.
Yeah, I feel like 2020 was the start of like Clemson's kind of fall off, I guess you could say. Like, they still had some dogs, but it wasn't at the level they had in like 2015, 2016, 2017, even 2018.
But unfortunately, to this day, this was the last time we saw Day and the Buckeyes in the Natty. The 2020 National Championship game, Ohio State faced a juggernaut #1 Alabama.
This might be the worst defensive game plan I have ever seen. It was pretty much, yo, Devontae Smith is going to just go off, and we're not going to really do anything to stop him. Like, dog,
they were completely
how he wasn't like double, triple teamed every single play is ridiculous.
Devontae Smith, quarterback Mac Jones, and running back Najee Harris. The Buckeyes win over Devontae Smith, quarterback Mac.
Hey, so pro tip for y'all: if you're in man coverage, like on the goal line, you know, low red zone, and you're on a receiver, you have to keep your eyes on the receiver if he goes in motion. So right here, 7, he's on 6. As soon as Devontae Smith goes in motion, he takes his eyes. He's now trying to look through the traffic, you know, trying to figure out a way to not run into people.
And running back,
he redirects,
Najee Harris,
brings it back. Now there's no one over there.
Devontae Smith.
So you gotta have to pre your route through this. So I know it's gonna be difficult. I know they're making it super hard. That's why I'm more of a fan of having someone you can spin it with, or whatever you call it, just someone you can, you know, switch responsibilities with, so you don't have to run through all this, because right now we're just running through. This is an open defender. If you're the free guy, you kind of have to be cognizant of this too, but yeah, no, you have to pre the routes that way. You're not trying to look through everything, and
Najee Harris.
You end up just being all the way on the other side of the field when he's walking in the end zone.
And COVID leading to over 20 players out or questionable for OSU was hard to make up for. Alabama overwhelmed Ohio State from the start.
And then this play right here might have been the greatest coaching malpractice of all time. We're essentially just in cover 3, which means this guy has 3 up. We have Devontae Smith in the slot. That is what we call a mismatch.
Mismatches in the secondary and also controlling the line of scrimmage. Touchdown. Devontae Smith had a record-setting first half with 12 receptions for 215 yards.
I forgot he did all that in the first half.
And 3
12, 215, and 3 touchdowns in a half that is absurd. Yeah, now people gave me flack when I said Devontae Smith is the best wide receiver in Alabama history. Not like, you know, ended up having the best career, but he had the best career in Alabama receiver history. Yeah, I think it's not even a question.
The final score solidified the gap between Ohio State and the SEC's elite.
Yeah. Mac Jones, who imagine saying Mac Jones was going to be backing up Trevor Lawrence in this day.
It was a tough wake-up call for Ryan Day and all Buckeye fans. Almost as important as national championships to Buckeyes fans, or even more important in some people's eyes, is the annual game against Michigan, the biggest rivalry in all of college sports.
Yep.
If you want to be
people tried telling me it was Army-Navy. Yeah, Army-Navy's not the biggest rivalry in college sports. Like, let's get a grip, people.
Considered a competent head coach at Ohio State, you must be able to beat the team up north. 2019, Ryan Day had no problem in his first matchup with the Wolverines.
Yeah, 2020, belt to ass that year on us.
And in 2021, the major issue started to materialize. Ohio State faced Michigan in Ann Arbor in a high-stakes game with playoff implications. Michigan entered ranked number.
This is one of those games, too, where... So in Utah, it's like 2 hours behind. So it's 10 a.m. I'm watching the game. Restaurants and stuff like that, bars aren't open. So I'm just in the crib watching the game. I'm sitting here like, all right, we scored first. Okay, I've seen us score first before. What can we do? And then as the game went along, it's like, yo, okay, wait, hold up. I got some belief here, but it's Ohio State. I feel like they always get some lucky bounce or something to where they take the lead and they go on a run. And that shit just never happened. Like,
well, Ohio State was
I mean, the O-line pretty much handled that. The D-line really dominated
in the trenches to find the game.
But yeah, like when it was 10-7 right before halftime, I'm like, all right, like something's gonna happen. We're gonna fumble the snap or something. They're gonna get the ball, go up 17-7 going into halftime. It's gonna be ball
O-line paved the way for
shit didn't happen. We scored, and I was like, okay, wait. Going into halftime with the lead.
On the other side, D-end Aiden Hutchinson terrorized Ohio State.
Yeah, Aiden popped off, Ojabo popped off. Whole defense really, went crazy.
Heisman finalist C.J. Stroud's timing. OSU's offense, which had been fantastic all year long, was stifled. The 42-27 loss not only ruined the Buckeyes.
And then as the clock's ticking down, it's like, wait, hold on, this might happen. This could happen. Shit, this is gonna happen. And it's like, yo, this happened.
Playoff hopes. But also, in hindsight, marked a turning point in the rivalry.
That is facts. That definitely did turn things around. I would say before in like 20, let's call it let's say my time there, right? 2017 to 2019, there was like a little bit of tenseness in the air. Like around Ohio State, it's like, damn, we gotta get this monkey off our back. We gotta get the monkey off the back. Now it's kind of like the monkey's off the back. Now it's like, all right, like we're gonna dictate the game. You're gonna play it on our terms. It's gonna be a brawl, and you're not gonna be able to beat us in that. That's kind of what I've seen the last 4 years. Even in like 2017, 18, 19, I think it was more like, all right, we gotta kind of match the speed and space. We gotta play their game, and Ohio State really dictated the terms. Now Michigan dictates the terms. That's why they're winning the games.
22 edition of the game saw Michigan come to Columbus.
I do not know about cover 0 and playing bail. That is because you're just giving up, the underneath throw, which is really the only outlet he would have had here.
Ranked number 3.
And then cover 0, got to get him on the ground. Got to make the tackle, and right here, hey, should never be a change in speed, right?
Ranked number 3.
Can't expect this guy to make the tackle because he misses. Now you were slowing down.
With both teams undefeated.
Now we got to dive. We don't get him on the ground.
Redemption after the previous year's loss and a playoff berth was on the line. The Buckeyes started strong, taking a 10-3 lead, but mistakes, including blown coverages.
Oh, wait. This wasn't a blown coverage. This was you just got cooked.
Taking a 10-3 lead, but mistake.
So we're showing low, we're disguising. One thing about your disguise, you never wanted to compromise your responsibility. So we're disguising, showing low. Now we're all kind of out of sorts. We have to open up, getting a crossover run. Receiver hits a little nod to the corner, back to the post. Barbecue chicken, easy tud.
Tearing up the Buckeyes secondary, throwing 3 long touchdown passes. Running back Donovan Edwards delivered the knockout blow with 2 long touchdowns.
Now you gonna bring a blitz? Hey.
As Michigan pulled
deep safety has to get him on the ground.
23. This loss stung worse than the last one as it marked.
Yeah, 45-23. That was really like we just a better team. We better than y'all.
The first time Michigan had won in Columbus since 2000. Even with the loss, though, Ohio State.
This right here might have been the most nerve-wracking game ever. I'm sitting there, bro. I'm thinking like, damn, Michigan lost earlier in the day after beating Ohio State, after winning the Big Ten, lost in the semifinals. Damn, if Ohio State win this game, and then go on to win the national championship. Like, that's like the worst thing ever.
Still earned a berth.
Luckily, it's Ryan Day, so fourth quarter, even though they're up 2 scores, it's gonna all come crumbling down. This wasn't even a crazy route. This is just like him, number 11, got real speed, like real legitimate speed. He really just got on the DB's toes. And I remember he was trying to he tried to speed turn, fell, but that shit was disgusting.
Georgia. The Bulldogs were the defending national champions and also heavily favored, but the Buckeyes enter motivated to prove their worth after the Michigan loss, and it showed. The game turned out to be an instant classic. Ohio State led for much of the game with C.J. Stroud delivering.
We get late in the game, I'm like, damn, Ohio State still going downfield through this Georgia defense.
Touchdowns, using his mobility to extend plays, and also
Stroud definitely, he was hooping. He was super hooping.
Jr. was a key weapon before being knocked out of the game due to an injury, which severely impacted Ohio State's offensive rhythm in the second half. The Buckeyes led 38-24 after 3 quarters.
And I'm sitting there, everything I said before, I'm like, damn, Michigan lost. Ohio State got in field goal range. It's a 50-yarder. I'm like, no, they could have win this. And the clock about to hit, New York clock about to hit, strike midnight. And I'm like, oh shit, he hooked it. It's over. I'm like, I was weak, bro. I'm dying. I'm retweeting every tweet I see, reposting everything. I was laughing my ass off.
42-40.
But yeah, they got they win that.
Ryan Day's third straight loss.
And this is actually the first ever Michigan game I was in attendance for, like in the stands. I was more nervous watching this than I was playing in any single game, like ever. Yeah, bro, my heart started beating crazy. The second I woke up, didn't stop beating, so I went to sleep, bro. Like the entire time I'm sitting there like, yo, I'm so nervous right now. I'm so tense. Never felt like that when I played ever.
2023 again with playoff implications on the line. Michigan was ranked 3. They entered confident.
They played well. Hey, receiver gonna run a soft route.
On the line.
Hey, we gonna dominate it. We gonna jump it.
They entered confident and battle tested, while Ohio State
ball, see ball, get ball, low key.
They entered.
He bends this outside. Hey, DBs, you catch the pass right, get to the numbers. Do not run in here, get hit by them linemen, save your body, run outside. He does that here. He probably scored a touchdown.
Ohio State wanted to end the recent struggles in the game. It was close all the way.
Great play, set Michigan up.
Interceptions by Buckeyes quarterback Kyle McCord made the difference. The Wolverines won 30-24.
This was a dot right here. His head turns. We throw the ball right past his ear hole. Touchdown.
Having serious questions about Ryan Day. His teams couldn't play physical enough or disciplined enough.
That's facts. They really don't. Like I said, bro, Michigan dictates the terms of rivalry now. Like, it's going to be played in a phone booth. It's going to be who's tougher. It's emphatically the answer to that has been Michigan.
Games. And a similar story happened in 2024 against the Oregon Ducks. A trip to Autzen Stadium was going to be a tough challenge for Ryan Day and the Buckeyes, facing number 3.
Evan Stewart definitely cooked this game right here, though. You in this trail position, like there is separation here. You got eyes on the receiver, play through the hands. We're looking back for the ball. We're not full speed. Ball is just over our head.
Dan Lanning had a balanced attack, a disciplined defense,
Uniform's
and one of
tough
the most
too.
Electrifying home field advantages in college football. Oregon's offense, led by Dylan Gabriel and Evan Stewart, exploited Ohio State's defensive vulnerabilities. Missed tackles, blown coverages, and losing one-on-one matchups allowed the Ducks to gain significant yardage. Meanwhile, the Buckeyes offense struggled to find consistency.
Gotta get him on the ground.
The run game being
that's really what it is. Coach used to call it, Coach Bonda, when I was at Utah State on Browns now, or coach the Browns now. Just call it, get it on the ground. Doesn't matter how you do it, just got to get the ball carrier on the ground.
Can't let him score. Ohio State had a chance to get in range for a game-winning field goal.
This was territory. I was waiting for a flight watching this game, so I'm at the I was just at like a random bar in Dolo. I'm sitting here like, yo, ain't no way he did this. I will say though, 6 seconds left. You can't be like 6 seconds left. We're scanning the field, step up in the pocket, pump fake, pat the ball, then we scramble. Like there wasn't enough time for that. Like, we couldn't have started. You couldn't have started that scramble with 2 seconds left.
A miscommunication between
game over. End the game. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Meant they lost the game. The 32-31 loss marked Ryan Day's first defeat against a non-Michigan top 5 regular season opponent since 2020.
That is a little bit misleading because I feel like most of them were like Penn State.
With the loss to Oregon just a few weeks before, it only made Ohio State's road matchup against number 3 Penn State.
Penn State, Ohio State, that is like a movable force meets a stoppable object. Yeah, bro, like it almost feels like not a big game anymore just because both coaches are so liable to just choke in big games that it's like, all right, whoever does the least choke-worthy things wins.
State that much more important.
It's crazy because Penn State's even up. Was even up 10-0.
Win in Happy Valley, and it was critical in keeping their playoff hopes realistic.
And that was like the least. This was like the least threatening 10-0 ever.
Ryan Day.
I'm sitting there like, all right, Ohio State's 100% going to come back. Like, low-key, I feel like whoever has the lead going into the fourth quarter is probably going to lose the game. If anyone goes up double digits, they're probably going to lose this game. Because
something had to give. Penn State got off to a fast start, intercepting Will Howard and returning it for a touchdown, but it was never the same after the first quarter because the Nittany Lions scored 0 offensive touchdowns the entire game.
Penn State and choking is definitely
Howard bounced back, going a solid 18 of 24 passing with 2 touchdowns.
Like Heike.
Touchdowns, and although OSU lost the turnover battle,
we already said Ryan Day is the Michael Jordan and James Franklin's.
Ohio State's next top 5 matchup was surprising because it was.
It's funny, my brother right before this was like, "Yo, why is Kev Downs back there? Put a receiver just to catch it, call a fair catch."
For the Buckeyes,
it's like, hey, this is why he's back there.
Maintain the momentum from the Penn State.
Yeah, he's dangerous though. Probably gonna be a top 5 pick next year.
The conference. No one gave Indiana a
super
chance,
dog.
and it was for good reason. They just could not match up anywhere near talent-wise with the Bucks. The game was tied at 7s late in the second half until a muffed punt led to an easy OSU red zone score, and from there the Buckeyes ran away with it. I
think Indiana got a shot in the playoffs.
Second half,
you guys Notre Dame
by a score of 38-15. Back-to-back wins against top 5 opponents. Why were we hating on Ryan Day that much in the first place?
It's a 3-7. 3-7, not awful. Not awful, I guess. I feel like most coaches don't even play that many top 5 teams, like, especially when you're consistently making the playoffs, when your rival you play every year, like, goes through a great stretch. You're just not playing a lot of top 5 teams, I feel like.
Second half and winning by a score of 38-15. Back-to-back wins against top 5 opponents. Why were we hating on Ryan Day that much in the first place? Before it gets catastrophic, Ryan Day's record against top 5 teams currently is 3-7. Which for most programs is good, but like I said earlier, this is not most programs. Ohio State expects championships every season, and they haven't made a natty in 4 years.
I'm not really a fan of these gray uniforms. I don't know, they just don't. I think a red helmet would have been better.
What's even more concerning is that they also
because now like the gray is different color than the silver is just a little weird.
The same amount of time. Ryan Day is making $10 million per year and is the 5th highest paid coach in the sport. $10 million to lose big games, lose to your rival almost every time, and not win natties. That's a harsh reality. Speaking of Michigan, let's talk about
this is such a funny game.
The game in 20.
Because I'm just like, all right, if Michigan keeps it close going at halftime, cool. Then I'm like, all right, it's close at halftime. I'm like, or it's tied at halftime. I'm like, all right, Michigan, keeps it close going into the fourth. All right, great. It's, won the natty last year. It is what it is. Down year for Michigan. Not too pressed about it. Then it gets to like 10 minutes left. I'm like, yo, Michigan finna win this game, bro. Michigan is just a tougher team. They're like more physical. They're gonna win this game. And lo and behold, Michigan won the game.
2024, arguably one of the most embarrassing losses in recent college.
This might be the worst loss of all time, potentially.
Football history.
Like in terms of just like having to have it and just not getting it. Like, one, you're playing against your rival that you lost to 3 times before the 3 years before this. 2, your rival is having a down year. 3, your rival just won the national championship the year before, going undefeated. 4, actually, I might have messed the numbers up. I don't even know. But 4, now you can't even win the Big Ten this year. So it's like, yo, this was
history. 19.5
This was bad.
That's how much Ohio State was favored by. Why? Well, because they were a few snaps away from being perfect on the year. They constructed a supposed $20 million roster.
And then you got your ass whooped on the field, got your ass whooped after the game. That is
NIL,
tragic.
Arguably on paper the best in college football, and Michigan was in the midst of a barely bowl-eligible down year where they lost 18. Michigan was in the midst of a barely bowl-eligible down year where they lost 18
Slam him. Someone got slammed over here, I remember.
Team a season ago. One more thing.
Yeah, Q, he one of the tight ends ran up on him, trying to sneak it from behind. I remember Q just reversed it, then they reverse suplexed him.
This game was in Columbus. How does this happen? Ryan Day did not use his talent and speed advantage on the outside with wide receivers like Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka against an injury-ridden.
I will say, though, Michigan, their D-line is pretty much, the best in the country, by far, I think. Got good linebackers. And really, they were just like, yo, we're going to play light in the box. You're going to try and run the ball to the light boxes. Our guys are better than yours, so they're going to make plays. And then they just had, secondary was able to focus on the pass, which they did. I also think Will Howard is a significantly worse passer than Kyle McCord. I've been saying that. I've been saying I don't think Kyle McCord leaving is going to necessarily be a positive. I don't think getting Will Howard is going to be a positive for Ohio State. I think in the big moments, he's just not going to be clutch enough. But yeah, kind of all played out the way I thought.
Secondary. Instead, he tried to prove a point by winning in the trenches, and just like the last 3 times, it didn't work. Who would have thought? Michigan is built to beat OSU in that way, and I think everyone knows it. It's gotten so bad that even if Ohio State wins the first-round playoff game against Tennessee, there will 100% be an asterisk on this season. 4 times in a row, fans are done with this. It's the most important rivalry in the sport. So what's wrong with Ryan Day? He's insane. He keeps doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. He cannot call a game. He cannot adjust in the second half, and he just doesn't have it in him to coach a high-stakes program like Ohio State. He doesn't. Thanks for reaching the end.
Yeah, hey, I know Ohio State fans definitely, a lot of them are fed up with Day. I will say though, if you get rid of him, like you can only go there's not much higher you can go up, right? Like I guess there is obviously higher. You win the national championship, but you're like right here, so you can get right here. There is a long way down you can go. We've seen a lot of teams before. They fire a coach who's doing well, just can't get over the hump. I know the 49ers are in the same spot right now. I saw people talking about should the 49ers fire Kyle Shanahan. It's like, all right, you fire someone that's like on the cusp of winning and cusp of winning championships. You fire them and get someone else who's not even anywhere close to their level. Oh, now you're fighting for bowl eligibility. You're finishing with 8 wins, 9 wins in the season. So yeah, it's like a double-edged sword, right? You could get rid of him. Is that necessarily going to push you over the edge? You don't know. Could it get worse? Potentially, maybe even probably. So y'all let me know. Y'all think Ohio State should keep Ryan Day or not? Y'all think Ohio State's going to win the game against Tennessee? What do you think Ryan Day has to do, Ohio State has to do for Day to keep his job? Y'all let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's a good video. Good channel too. Good channel. We're going to definitely tap into more bros videos for sure. But yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. Catch y'all next time. Peace.